So instead of them sort of going in and tearing up your company and stealing assets and bring them home, you go to the courts and ask for protection.
It was the kids' toy empire that ruled the 80s and 90s. However, in the early 2000s, Toys R Us began to plateau. You'll probably remember back in 2018, all U.S. operations were permanently shuttered, with the Canadian arm of the company spinning off into its own separate entity. But as of Tuesday, Toys R Us Canada confirming it has filed for creditor protection. This after just last year, the company announced it would downsize its operations, closing dozens of stores throughout 2025. You are now more likely to find one of these, an empty former location still architecturally recognizable as Toys R Us, than an actual operating store. Only about 20 remain nationwide.
80 stores at one time. They've closed about 50 stores in the last year or two.
Bruce Winder is a retail analyst based in Toronto.
I guess they could get smaller than this potentially.
He says typically a company in creditor protection tries to rebound by laying off staff and closing unprofitable stores, but it's an uphill battle.
There's a remote chance, I think, maybe a little more than remote, that someone buys them and tries to fix it. The odds are not in their favor, and the reason for that is just the world's changed, right? People buy a lot more toys now in Canada from Walmart and from Amazon.
But there's another factor at play that we saw when Hudson's Bay closed: nostalgia. There are countless videos just like these hitting viewers with the feels over the decline of Toys R Us.
So nostalgia is feeling of touch. It's sensitive to time, particular periods of our life.
Gerald Kupchik is a professor of psychology with the University of Toronto. He says the feeling you may be having isn't surprising, describing it as two-pronged. The first being we tend to cherish memories of doing things we like with people that matter to us, like shopping for toys with parents or kids. But he adds the business model of having lots of toys that were available for play in the store makes those fond memories particularly potent.
It's not about the looking, it's about the reaching and the touching, and that's what we're losing. Like, it's a serious issue. In other words, the Toys R Us narrative is just the surface of a changing culture.
Particularly a culture where more of that tactile shopping experience is being replaced by a screen.
We see things and we hear things, but taste, touch, and smell are becoming more and more remote in our life.
As for whether nostalgia can save the brand,
you can't use nostalgia as a strategy. It just doesn't work. People love things, but doesn't mean they're going to buy from them.
In Oakville, David Zura, City News.